This reminds me of Exxon Valdez oil spill. We have many miles of our beaches like this. A lot of our shorebirds and our flyaways didn't come back to Point Hope due to this kind of oil activity, oil spill.
This is where the Gulf of Mexico meets the Arctic, in the eyes of a man who has seen the devastation that oil spills can cause.
Straight up.
Earl Kingett is one of 4 native leaders that traveled thousands of miles from their tribes in Alaska to a very different environment in the Gulf.
You can see right on top there.
Drawn here by the threat and potential consequences of offshore drilling.
Oh, that's disgusting.
The group made the trip because exploratory drilling is planned in the Chukchi and Beaufort Seas off the coast of northern Alaska. Shell would be the first oil company to drill there, and it says because the Arctic seas are far shallower, an accident like the one in the Gulf would be easier to contain. Not so, say the Alaskans.
There's going to be a minimal absorption of the spilled material, and it's a very difficult process to respond in a warm climate, and it's going to be impossible in the Arctic.
Impossible, they say, because conditions in the Arctic are so much more hostile, with rough seas, ice, bitter cold, and only a few months in the year when drilling and emergency operations can even take place. By comparison, the Gulf is accessible and has far more resources on hand. As the Alaskans saw, many fishing, Coast Guard, and oil industry vessels are available to try to fend off the oil. That would not be the case in the Arctic. A flyover of the Gulf spill area brought the scale of the disaster home and a feeling of kinship with those suffering below.
There is a bond because the people have been impacted, and oil development, there's always going to be an impact of some sort.
There's a chance that some of this will make it if it's not a prolonged exposure.
The Alaskans were joined by Michael Dardar, a member of a tribe from coastal Louisiana. He gave them a stark warning.
My hopes is that they would go back to their home territory and do whatever they can to make sure that the footprint that the oil industry has there is not expanded, that they don't have to face the things that we've had to face here.
For This American Land, I'm Gary Stryker.